What is up, everyone? We are back with another impromptu episode of Smoke and Meteoras. This week, I am joined very last minute by none other than Anakin Murphy. How are you doing today, Anakin?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So, let's just jump right on into this. So, before Anakin Murphy existed, before you had ever gotten into a ring, what kind of kid were you growing up?
Um, I would say like right in the middle of just like really energized and hyper, but also just really calm. Like I didn't really like get into much trouble at school outside of like missing assignments or like failing grades. Like I wasn't really in detention. I wasn't really like causing my parents much grief outside of just like schoolwork. Uh, so, but I was pretty social. Like I had certain friends. There's only one that I really talk to anymore from uh like elementary school, middle school. So I think that's a good description. But I think my dad would have like a better answer. That's just like what I've been told from like others.
So, what was one of the first things that you felt like you were truly passionate about when you were a kid?
It's definitely wrestling. Like my dad always liked it. He was always like really big into WCW. And I think I just started watching it because he was watching like Friday Night SmackDown one night, and then ever since then it's like been nonstop.
So, was wrestling kind of always a dream from there, or was there another path that seemed a little more realistic for you that you were trying to go towards?
It was always the dream, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're too small. That's just not gonna happen." Because I've always been super like skinny my whole career or whole life. Sorry. Um, I wanted to do like, oh, maybe I'll be like an author, maybe I'll be like a film director, like something that had to do with like creating stuff and doing like stories, which is what wrestling is. But whenever I realized, like, I went to a local independent show, I didn't know local independent wrestling existed. But once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, I am going to be a wrestler. It just kind of all circled back. But I feel like everything I wanted to do kind of had like wrestling elements within it.
Okay. So, you've said before that you weren't really sure what you would do without wrestling. So, what was it about wrestling that really filled something that nothing else could for you?
Um, I think like I don't think this is totally true, but it kind of seemed like it was the only thing I was good at, only thing I was like, that like clicked with me. I think other things I would be good at if I put more like practice or effort into it, but wrestling, I think I just cared so much about it that I made it work and I made like the practice wasn't like practice or work, it was just like fun the whole time. So I feel like I just have to find because I do want to stop wrestling at 30. Like that's been ever since I started wrestling. I was like at 30, I want to be done. Uh, and that may change whenever I hit 30, but for now it's not. Um, so I think whatever I do next, whether it's in wrestling or not within wrestling, I'm just gonna have to let it come to me naturally, or I'll just be miserable. Worst case scenario.
That's like crazy for me to think because I'm like a week shy of being 30.
Hmm.
So, like, I mean, I've been a fan since I was like 6 years old, but like, if I imagined like just stopping like watching wrestling at 30, like in a sense, that's just wild to me. I don't
It's
think,
like
yeah.
I always um I'm 24 now, so I have 6 years. I'll be 25 in December. Uh, I wanted to like have a life without wrestling. Like I still watch it and like I'll probably still go to shows, but like I wanted a life without totally like I don't want to wrestle for fucking 40, 50 years. I don't think that's ever something I've ever wanted. Um, but I also like the appeal of having a short career and leaving a lot to be like desired of like, oh, if Anakin Murphy was still wrestling, he would kill it with this person. And I like that feeling. I don't want to like overstay my welcome.
Okay. So before you had ever trained, you had spent some time setting up rings and refereeing, but what was watching from outside, or what was watching the business from the outside teaching you about it?
I think like refereeing taught me a lot about like matches, like how to be a wrestler. Because I would sit and like listen to them put stuff together, and then I would be in there and I would like watch things happen, or I would watch things like not go as planned. So like maybe something else happened. So that taught me a lot about like the wrestling aspect. I feel like kind of being around shows not in a wrestler capacity taught me a lot about like how the show is ran, problems you would run into, like everybody's part that they play is not just everyone's part that they play, not just like the wrestlers, which also gave me a lot more appreciation. I don't do it all the time, but I try to. Like every time I leave a show, I try to go to each like ring crew member or wrestler helping set up or tear down and like thank them because like they're a part of the show just as much as everyone else because they're setting up everything and tearing down everything, and that's the worst fucking part. Um, so I try to do that. I've been getting better at it. I've been trying to do it every show, but sometimes it doesn't work as well as I want it to.
So was there ever a moment where you thought that maybe this isn't going to happen for you?
No, no, it really like ever. I think I was like really fueled by like spite of well, people all my life been telling me I can't do this, so I'm gonna do it. Like this is gonna work, even if I'm like the worst wrestler ever. I'm gonna have at least one match. So I feel like I did not think it would get to this point because I feel like I'm on like an insane run right now, like especially in GCW. I'm doing things I never thought I'd be able to do. Uh, so I didn't think it'd get to this point, but I always knew that like I was going to at least have one match.
Absolutely. So looking back now, what do you think the younger Anakin was searching for with entering the wrestling world?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, were you maybe looking for some sort of escape from your life, or was just this kind of the path you felt you were destined for and needed to go down?
I think it was just it's what felt right. I think is the best way to answer it. I also have never like I've always had goals and things I've wanted to do, but it's always been like, well, whatever happens, happens, regardless I'm wrestling. Uh, if that makes sense. But I feel like it was always something. I don't feel like it was an escape from things. It definitely has been used as an escape from things. Like if I'm sad one day, I'll go watch wrestling and probably feel better. Or oh, I'm having a really rough week. I can't wait for my match on Friday. Like things like that have definitely happened. But I think from the get go, it's always been something I felt like was like the reason why like I was here. I kind of believe that everything happens for a reason. So I believe that like I'm a wrestler for a reason. And like that's for whatever reason has stuck with me my entire life. Like it's had to like stick with me for some reason.
So you've had a couple of different presentations throughout your career, but how has your character evolved into the version that fans see today?
I think just really naturally. 'Cause I started out kind of I wanted to be like a funny emo gimmick, but I wore like tights. Um, but then that shifted to me wanting to do like a lot more serious and be a super serious wrestler, and then that morphed into kind of just letting myself come out of my shell and just letting like my real life personality shine through, but also at the same time like hold on to this emo persona and like motivation to be like a wrestler in terms of like a character in a character sense. I used to wear makeup all the time. I don't wear makeup anymore. But I feel like a lot of things I just kind of added and subtracted organically. Like I used to wear like crop tops with like long sleeves. I would always do that, and then I just kind of cut the sleeves off and thought it looked better. Um, I just kind of added the fishnets. 'Cause I thought it'd be cool. I added the choker because I thought it'd be cool. So like everything I've kind of just let come to me naturally because I feel like that's the best thing. Like I think for a lot of young wrestlers, they really go and search for things because they feel like they need it right at that moment. And I try to tell young wrestlers that you got to just let things come to you because it'll feel so much better. Um, so like how I look now might be different in 2 years, but I'm not really gonna put much thought into it until it happens, and I'll be like, oh, okay, now it's time.
So, what do you believe is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about your character?
Uh, I feel like a lot of people now, especially now, just kind of see it as, well, he's just Darby Allen number two, or he's just gonna throw himself into whatever, and that's just his appeal. And I feel like that's valid because of the clips that people see, because not a lot of people have the attention span or time to really watch full matches. But I feel like if you watch full matches of mine, you'll understand. Like, there's a rhyme and reason behind things that happen. Like, I don't just go into a match and be like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. That's gonna hurt me really bad. It hurts really bad. Like it hurts some days. It's really hard to walk. Right now, I'm dealing with a pulled muscle in my calf, and I tweaked my knee that I injured a year ago last night. So it legit hurts to walk right now, but I'm not going to go into this weekend and be like, oh, I'll just take it easy. It'll be okay. Like there's going to be silly things that I do, but there's also going to be a reason behind it. So I feel like that's a long-winded answer of that question.
All right. So, when you look in the mirror before walking through the curtain, what kind of mindset are you trying to step into?
I'm usually really calm before matches. A lot of people like get really hyped up. A lot of people get really like nervous. I try to just be as calm as possible because I feel like if I'm super nervous, something's not going to go right. And that's happened a couple times. Um, I feel like sometimes I tell myself, like, this is just a match. It's going to be okay. Like, no matter how important it is to me, if I just tell myself, like, this is just a match, whatever happens, happens, it kind of calms me down. So I'm not so nervous going out. There's sometimes where I don't know why I do this, but I'm like, why am I doing this anymore? Like, why am I still wrestling? Why can't this just be my last match? And then I go out and then I come back and I'm like, oh, that was so fun. That's not gonna be my last match. Like, so I don't know why, but it just kind of calms my nerves down if I just tell myself that. It's totally unrealistic. I'm never just gonna like, all right, this is gonna be it. And it's gonna be so like lackluster. Like, I won't ever do that, but sometimes I think about it.
So, have there ever been ideas that you wanted to explore creatively but were afraid wouldn't connect with the crowd?
There's a couple outfit ideas I had, um, but a big part of me doesn't really like there was one thing I found where it was like it was all one piece. It was like shorts plus like an overall thing, and I was like, oh, that'd be like a really cool look. Uh, but I felt like the crop tops were getting a good reaction, and like I've seen people like cut crop tops like I do and wear them to shows. And I feel like in a way, if I don't cover up my upper body, it's kind of more sympathetic whenever like I take chops and people see like marks all over my chest, or I take like glass and people see blood on my back. So I feel like that would take away from certain things. That's the only thing that I've wanted to do like creatively that I'm just like maybe this won't work. I've wanted to bring back makeup, but it's so hard to find time to do it, especially if I'm in um like tight or like a
When you're
tight
running a
time
tight
frame.
schedule.
Yeah, yeah. Like if I'm don't have a lot of time to do stuff, and I'm like, oh, I gotta like put together this match, and I gotta get dressed, and I gotta like make sure I have everything down, and I gotta do makeup. Like that's a problem I was running into a lot. That's why I just stopped doing it. Um, and I don't think it really added to anything much. I feel like some people liked it, but like most people didn't care.
So, at what point did you stop trying to be what you thought wrestling wanted and start becoming the wrestler that you wanted to be?
I feel like for a lot of time I was wrestling for like the validation of other people, whether it be like this is not a person I was wrestling for validation for, but it was like, oh well, if Gary J likes this match, I'm doing a good job. I had a conversation with Bear Bronson like 2 weeks ago where he reminded me like you got to wrestle for you. Like at the end of the day, like you have you. So it's actually something very recently that I'm kind of coming around to. Because there's a lot of times where I'll wrestle and I'm like, this is something for me that's going to be really cool. And there's other times where I've wrestled and I've been like, I really hope the fans like this, really hope the promoter likes this, really hope the opponent likes this. And I totally forget about myself. Um, so it's very recent to answer the question, and it's still something I'm struggling with a little bit, but it's getting better.
And what's one part of your personality that fans probably don't realize is completely genuine?
Hmm. I don't know how it like looking at yourself from an outside perspective is really hard. So I feel some people have told me like your song, like your reaction to when people sing your song is like we can all see how much it means to you. And I think that's like a big thing that people notice. I don't I just try to be me nowadays, especially like within wrestling. I just try to be myself. So if people see little details or see little like personality traits that they think are interesting, I hope they would tell me. I don't know how to really answer that question for myself because I don't know how other people really perceive me. But what I have been told is the song thing because it does mean a lot to me whenever people sing it, and a lot of people have been like, "We do that like for you because we know how much it means to you," and it's like it's pretty cool.
Now, I can't lie, I suck at remembering people's music, but
Hmm.
I did know that you liked My Chemical Romance, so I picked the song for the Instagram post. But remind me of what your music is.
It's Helena.
Oh, all right, all right. So I wasn't far off.
No, no, it wasn't far off.
All right, but yeah, that it's a bop. Whether you're a fan of My Chemical Romance or not, that's a song that you're gonna sing regardless.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too. Cause I thought people would sing it, but not like everybody, and it seems like everybody knows this song, which is pretty cool.
That was the song that had introduced me to them, and I slept on them for a while. I won't lie. I didn't get into them until well after I got out of high school. But like I started listening to like Black Parade and that whole album, and I was like, why did
Hmm.
I sleep on these guys for so long? This is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, I get it. It's like sometimes when a lot of people hype up something, it's really hard to get into it. But I feel like with them, it was really easy for me.
Yes, like you hear everybody talk about like the emo trifecta all the time and being like Fallout Boy, Panic at the Disco, and then My Chemical Romance. And I was always a Panic girl, and I always felt like they were the sleepers because nobody really talked about them back in the day.
Hmm.
All right. So, one thing that I came across before reaching out to you, because I do research people before I look them up. Um, I lost my train of thought. So, I'll just start that over. One thing I came across while researching you was your advice to think how you want to think and don't get discouraged. And that kind of stuck with me, so I wanted to get into that. But where does that mindset come from exactly?
Um, it was think how you want to think and don't get discouraged. Is that what I said?
Yep.
Uh, I think it just comes from kind of always being told within wrestling, like how things should be. Like everyone has an opinion of like, well, this isn't wrestling, this is wrestling. And I feel like it really morphs people's heads on like, well, this guy thinks this isn't wrestling, so I guess I suck, or this guy thinks that I should stop doing this spot because he doesn't like it, but I really like it, but he doesn't like it, so I'm going to stop. So I feel like a lot of people just need to stick to their guns and think how they want to think. Like, for example, whenever I wanted to call myself Death Wish, so many people were telling me it was a dumb idea. And it was like, there's already a couple Death Wishes on the indies. There's already like that's just kind of something generic or whatever. And I was like, well, I think it's cool, so I'm gonna go with it. And now people like it's like a brand thing of when people say Death Wish in wrestling, I feel like they think of me now. And that's because I just stuck to my guns and thought how I wanted to think, and I didn't get discouraged if people thought it sucked. Um, so I feel like a lot of people, if they really truly believe in something or they have like a strong connection to something, they just gotta stick with it. Like for death matches, people tell me all the time, people who I like love and cherish, like you gotta stop doing them. And one day I will, but not right now. So I'm just gonna like keep doing it until I don't want to do it anymore because it's my life and it's my career, and I get to choose what I do and what I don't do.
So, how difficult for you is it to trust your instincts in a business where everyone has an opinion?
It's really difficult, especially after I got shit on really bad after Tournament of Survival, and it was for good reason. I got fucked up pretty bad, um, but I wasn't gonna change how I am. I feel like it motivated me in a way to try like to improve on some things, and I feel like it motivated me to try a little harder with some things. But I didn't change how I acted. I didn't change my gimmick. I didn't change my song. I didn't change the way I wrestle. I didn't change or add or subtract really anything that I do. Um, so it's really hard, and not a lot of people like. It's very like it's really difficult to do. Like overall, it's just I can't really put it into words as well as I want to, but you just have to kind of trust within yourself to just stay true to yourself and just stick with it as much as you can, because eventually it's going to work out, and if it doesn't, it's not that big of a deal. At least you stayed true to yourself, and like at least you followed what you believed in.
So, what is a piece of criticism that you've received that actually made you learn something about yourself and may have improved your game in the wrestling scene?
I think reading all of the comments about TOS here recently, because it really like I always cared about what people thought in terms of like wrestling, but if someone had something shitty to say, I never really paid attention to it. I was always just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Sometimes I'm still like that a little bit. Like if someone says something like, well, this guy needs to go eat a steak, I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Um, but there's a Facebook group called Deathmatch Elite who shit on me real bad after TOS. And it was the first time I looked at every single one and I was like, all right, he's valid in saying that. She's valid in saying that. He's valid in feeling that way. That's an opinion to have. You know, some comments I didn't like and were super disrespectful, but that's why I just changed my perspective on it and was like, I'll listen to the good, but I also really need to listen to the bad. Even if I may not personally agree with it, even if I know this person has never stepped foot in a wrestling ring their entire life, maybe they have a valid thing to say. There's a lot of people within that group that I do not believe are the smartest people in the world. And that's with everything, not just that group. Uh, but I feel like a lot of comments towards me were valid, and it changed my perspective on how to handle criticism because I did not handle it very well for the first couple days, but then I got around to handling it well, and I feel like now I'm more prepared to hear people out if they don't like me.
So, has there ever been a moment where betting on yourself has paid off for you in the long run?
Yeah, I feel like everything with GCW right now, because I said I was going to go to a string of shows for 6 months for GCW. I was going to go to this day, this day, this day, and this day. And I was like, if I don't get on any of them, I'll just stop going. And if they want me, they'll come to me. And the first show I went to, I got on. And then he goes, okay, let's add you to this show. And then after that show, I had a ton of more dates. So I betted on myself in going and committing to like, okay, these 6 months, I'm going to go to these shows and just see what happens. And these last 6 months have been fucking insane with GCW.
And luckily with GCW, you get to come up to my area in a couple of weeks, and I finally get to meet you at GCW in Hartford.
Yes, that'll
So
be sick.
I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
So, what do you think separates people who last in wrestling from people who disappear?
I think like this is gonna be like this might sound a little mean, but I think people who last versus people who disappear, the people who last just want it more. And that might come across a little mean, but it's also okay for wrestling not to work out for you and you just quit and you stop doing it. I don't think it's like, well, you failed at this. Maybe it just wasn't for you and that's okay. Like I love like the idea of painting. I'm fucking horrible at it. I can't if I have an idea, can't really do it well myself. Uh so maybe painting is just not for me. Doesn't mean I failed. Doesn't mean I completely suck. Just means that it's just not for me. Um, so I feel like people who last just want it more and they're willing to fail 1,000 times and keep getting back up. And people who disappear just don't want it as bad as much, but that's okay.
And what is something that you've learned about yourself through wrestling that maybe surprised you?
I've been told this, so I can't like I'm not gonna try to be like, well, this is what I think of myself. Like people have told me that I'm able to like read people really well and I'm able to like help people really well, like help people understand things really well. And I didn't know I was able to like lead or teach in that way. Like I have a lot of people in St. Louis that credit me for a lot of things, like credit me as like their trainer. And I have a couple people that have like, yeah, I wouldn't be where I am without him. And that's crazy to think about. But I guess I'm able to explain things in a way to make it very like understandable, which is cool. I don't want to tote that. So other people say that for me, which is cool. Makes me feel like not like an ego driven maniac where I'm like, I teach people, I'm a great teacher. Like these are things that have been told like to me.
All right. So, everybody knows at this point that you have a passion for wrestling, but how do you protect that passion when wrestling starts to feel more like work?
Just by taking a step back from it. I feel like there was only one time where I got super burnt out from wrestling, but I felt like I couldn't stop, and then I got hurt, and I had to like be forced to stop, and I was super upset. But I feel like it was a really good thing because it made me really appreciate wrestling a lot more. And I feel like it also, if I need a break, it's okay. Wrestling's always going to be there. It's not like I'm going to lose out on so many things. Uh, so yeah, just taking a break and just stepping away for like 2 weeks, 2 months, a year, like regardless, it's always going to like be there.
All right. What is a sacrifice to the business that people don't often see?
The car rides, definitely the car rides. Because I don't think people understand that I can have a death match, be covered in blood and cuts, and then, clean up with baby wipes and like towel, like water bottles because there's no shower at the venue, or go to a shower that's either in a Love's or a Planet Fitness and then drive for 7 hours to the next town still having your hair smell like blood, still like your shirt sticking to your back, you're in an upright position. Like it's not the most comfortable thing. And I don't think a lot of people super understand that. Even people that like fly, like maybe you take a shower and then you're going to the airport, probably still smelling like blood. You have cuts in your forehead. You look probably like a maniac to some other people, and you're going to be upright in an airplane. So, and the pressure like sucks. So I feel like that's like the travel aspect is what a lot of people don't super understand. But I think a lot of people do understand it too.
I've never been in a plane, so I never thought of like the whole cabin pressure sort of thing either.
Yeah, it gets a little like, at least for me, especially if I'm in the middle of two other people, it kind of sucks. Like I don't like it.
I guess I'll find out at the end of July. I'm going to Colorado for a week, so
Oh, okay, hell yeah.
all right. So has there ever been a point where you questioned continuing on the path of deathmatch?
Yeah, I wanted TOS to be my last death match, and no one knows that but me. I wanted tournament survival. I was like, I accomplished. I wanted to wrestle uh, John Wayne Murdoch and Matt Tremont. I wanted to wrestle them, and I wanted to compete in a big tournament. That's all I wanted to do in deathmatch wrestling. And within like 3 weeks, I accomplished all three of those things. So I was like, okay, well, it's not really much for me to do anymore. Maybe I don't have to tear up my body. And then TOS went the way it went. So then afterwards, I was like, well, okay, maybe I need to keep this going. And then whenever I feel like I redeemed myself and you know, I'm able to not do this anymore and I feel like it's right, then I won't. But I wanted TOS to be the last one.
So was it the desire to kind of prove people wrong after all the feedback that came out of TOS that kept you around, or was it something else that brought you back?
I feel like it was half that. It was half prove people wrong, but it was also half like I need to make that right. Do I really want to stop doing death matches off of that? Like I'm out for like my own proof. Like I'm out to prove myself wrong, and I'm out to like seek my own validation before other people. It's definitely like a part of it of like I'm gonna prove everyone wrong that had bad things to say. But like I said earlier, like I think a lot of those people were valid in what they said. Um, so I think it's more of like a I need to go out on my own terms in terms of like death matches. Could be this year, could be next year, could be 2 years from now. Like I'll know whenever it's time for me to like stop.
And what is a moment that reminded you exactly why you fell in love with wrestling in the first place?
I think seeing like my brother wrestles and my girlfriend wrestles. So seeing them accomplish things or be told really cool things that I've been told in the past and seeing them getting to experience it, knowing how it made me feel is probably like the coolest thing. Like this past weekend, my brother had like a sick match, and then afterwards, like a notable name came up to him and was like, "I want to wrestle you. You're awesome. Send me matches." Da da da. And I'm like, I remember whenever that happened to me. Like that's really cool for him. Um, I remember like my girlfriend had a really cool match this past weekend, and someone wrote a review about it and said like I was one of like they thought that was the best match of the whole show, and she was super happy about it. That never happened to her before. I'm like, oh, I remember that whenever that happened to me for the first time, like that was really cool. So seeing those things happen for like the people I care about are like big reasons to like remind myself this is one of the coolest jobs of all time.
All right. So let's get a little bit more into the person behind the character. So, what is something in your life right now that is making you genuinely happy?
I'm trying to think of outside of wrestling. A lot of my life is involved in wrestling, especially with like, my girlfriend being a wrestler. I have a cat who's great. His name's Spooky. He makes me really happy. Um, I also love going on walks, and they clear my head, and that also makes me happy. Um, Yeah, I would say cat and going on walks are two things in my life that like I outside of wrestling that I it seems lame, but I like it a lot.
Hey, everybody has their own flavor, I guess we'll say, because
Yeah.
I can't think of the correct phrase, but that's what I'm going to say for now. So, what are some things that you are curious about these days?
In terms of like hobbies or just in general.
In general.
Um I've always wanted to like do more photography. We'll do more start photography. So that's something I've always like wanted to know more about. Um I just haven't really had time or money to like. 'Cause if I do it, I want to do it like I don't want to get like a shitty camera. I want to get a really nice one. Um, I guess also like trying to find friends outside of wrestling, which is really hard to do because I'm not like a social person outside of wrestling in terms of like I'm not gonna go to a bar and meet people there. Like that's not something I would do. I'm not gonna like I don't know if like a certain club would interest me at all. So that's something I've been trying to figure out as well.
So, what is something that you've changed your mind about in the last 5 years?
Uh, Something I've changed my mind about in the last 5 years. Um, Trying to think of like inside and outside wrestling. Uh, I guess I think this is everybody. Like before I started doing therapy, I always felt like I didn't need it, and I didn't like I was okay talking to like people I trusted more, but that was just me being avoidant of it. And I feel like that was something that changed my mind because, like, off the second session of therapy I had, I was like, "Oh, this is really helpful. Like, this is really nice." So that's something I changed my mind on. Um, yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing is like kind of being avoidant and kind of shrugging off therapy, and then realizing that it's very like needed, even if you don't have like a ton of problems like or issues that you would view in your life, like therapy is pretty cool.
All right. So, you've been a little deep with me for about 40 minutes now, but time to completely derail it all and get into a little bit of chaos.
Okay.
All right. If you could fist fight any public figure in history and there are zero consequences, who are you picking and why?
Any member from Jackass because it would be fun, and I know that afterwards we'll probably just laugh about it and then talk. It's pretty cool. So I guess any member from Jackass. If I had to pick one, I'll just choose Steve-O because he'll probably beat my ass, and then he'll be like, "Hell yeah, dude, that was cool." I'll be like, "Yeah, dude, that was cool."
All right. You wake up tomorrow and discover that raccoons have now become the dominant species on Earth and control everything. They're peaceful. They're not going to fight you, but they do demand that you explain professional wrestling to keep it in existence. What is your sales pitch?
Uh, what a fucking question. Raccoons. Um, it is theater with violence. It is theater with like violence that is choreographed and um very in your face.
I'd keep it. I'm not a
I think that'd be
raccoon, but
nice.
I'd keep it.
Yeah.
All right. A genie tells you that he will make you the greatest wrestler alive, but every time you enter a room, everyone can hear boss battle music. Deal or no deal?
No, I'm good. I I know that I'm not the greatest wrestler in the world, but if I broke my neck in this match this weekend and had to retire, I'd be pretty happy with my career. So I don't think I want boss battle music and people being like, "Who the fuck is this?" every time I would step in a room. I don't think that's
Oh,
needed.
okay. You can solve one mystery, literally anything in human history. What do you want to find out?
Who the Zodiac killer was? It's
Ooh.
like the biggest one. Like no one can figure this. Even like today, nobody can figure it out. So I think it's pretty. And also, I think justice should probably be served to this guy who killed a bunch of people and is probably, if not dead, still just chilling. Like, should probably figure this out. It's pretty wild that nobody can still figure it out.
Like, I mean, I've watched so many like true crime documentaries and then like the dramatized bullshit they have on TV, but like to think that there's actually murderers that can get away with all of this shit.
Yeah,
It's
like I've watched a lot too, and they've fully explained and broke down. Here's exactly how we caught this guy. Okay, why can't we do it with the Zodiac killer? If there's a million things to do to catch somebody, why hasn't it happened yet?
I agree. All right. So next question. You are given a time machine and you can either witness any event in history or relive one day of your life. Which are you choosing?
I won't relive any days because I feel like every day happened for a reason. So I don't want to like go back and be like, I'll just, you know, be nostalgic about this. Feel like if I want to witness any event, hmm, I feel like I want to witness One Night Stand 2005. Like when he like the energy in the room for that show. I feel like I
Okay.
want to be there for that.
All right. All right. Every human being on earth now has to follow one law that you create. What is that law?
Hmm. There's a lot of things that should happen in the world, but I have to pick one thing. Uh, I think stronger laws on hate crimes, no matter what it is. Like like something where it's like if you commit a hate crime, you get like the worst punishment. Because I do not believe hate crime should exist. Like no matter you know how you want to live your life or what you can control, like you shouldn't be hated for something like that. So I feel like stronger uh punishments on hate crimes would be mine.
All right. You are stranded on a deserted island with three wrestlers. Which three wrestlers are you bringing, and who are you absolutely refusing to bring because they would just make the situation worse?
Is it like an island that's like we have to fend for ourselves?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Three including me, and then one that I'm like, no, you can't come.
Yes.
Okay. For the person that can't come, uh, I'm probably gonna have to pick my friend Robert Leach, who's a ring announcer. I love him to death, but he would make that way worse. And he would not be much of a help. I'm trying to think of people who are really resourceful. I think Jimmy Lloyd, he's very resourceful. I feel like he would know what to do. He's pretty smart. Uh, Manders because he seems like a hard worker in terms of like, well, we got to get this shit done. So I feel like he would be the one to do that, and I would follow because I am not like that. And then I'll pick Noah Clover, who's another wrestler, because he's like, if I have like a problem He usually knows the answer. If he has a problem, I usually know the answer. So we play off each other really well.
All right. Well, that is everything that I have for you, Anakin. So
Sick.
thank you so much for joining me this week. With that being said, where can we find you in the next coming weeks? And if you're not in our area, where can we keep up with you on social media?
If you search up Anakin Murphy on anything but TikTok, I'll pop up. I will pop up on TikTok too, but I haven't used it in 3 years. Um, this weekend, I'm at GCW in Los Angeles and Phoenix, Arizona, and then honestly, the next 3 weeks I'll be at GCW shows. Um, this week, next week is Coney Island in the backyard. Week after that is Hartford and New Hampshire. Uh, and then the week after that, I have SCI in Chattanooga. And yeah, so that's like the first, like up until this point this month, or this point next month.
All right. Well, that is everything we have for you guys. We will be back later today at 6 p.m. with Hardcore. But that is everything we got. Thank you guys all for viewing at home. Thank you again to Anakin for joining us, and we will catch you guys later today.